Hey Doron, welcome to TV of Tomorrow.
Hi, Ashley. It's so good to be here.
So Tremor, what are you guys doing here? You're a digital ad tech company. What are you doing at a TV show?
Exactly the question to ask. Well, all screen. If you remember, we actually announced in April that we're now doing all screen optimization and we have a patent on it. Television is the next big thing where video is naturally migrating to. The big screen is 60 inch, so we're going from 4 to 10 to 20 to 60. And it's where the connected TV is still very much in its infancy, but we believe there's a huge audience there. We know there's a huge audience there. In fact, we know it's 83 million people in America that are streaming television every single week, 12 hours per week. That's how much they're watching it. And we see that a lot of there's a lot of technology that still need to address some of the issues in this particular space. That's why we're here. We're trying to address it. We're trying to understand it. We're trying to understand the demands that the producers, directors, content makers need and have, as well as the networks, as well as all of the new tech that's coming up in this particular world.
So do you guys really believe that advertising revenue is going to be one of the sort of the fuels of the ecosystem in subsidizing new models of distribution?
I think that what we've seen, it was funny, I think it was Simmons that a couple of years ago did like a whole case study in 2006 with the ARF about the future model of content. And people were debating like, would people actually buy and rent and maybe actually add supported content, and depending on the model. I think that what we're seeing is that there's a place for everything. There's some people who will absolutely buy content and they absolutely will not want any ads, and that space for Netflix is fantastic. I think there is like a half-half model, like the Hulu Plus model, where you have still a subscription business, but in order to get better content, deeper content, there will be ad support business around there, which is what they do really well. And I think that there's going to be a lot of business around free content, quality, high-quality free content, whether it's Jon Stewart, Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, that needs ad support around it, and that's where we play a big role in.
What are some of the most interesting panels you've been to, attended, or takeaways from the show thus far?
Well, the first one that comes to mind is the programmatic component, right? That was led by you, and it was fantastic to see Collective, Rocket Fuel, and Adapt TV on that panel, Audience Express, trying to explain to this particular world the concept of programmatic. I think that we in the digital world are getting a little bit more comfortable with it, and I think that if you would ask 10 out of 10 people, you would probably get like 8 similar answers in our space, in the digital space. But in the TV world, I think that they're still flabbergasted by the jargon. They don't necessarily understand the workflow, and there's different levels of programmatic. So for the TV space, I think programmatic is still very new and something that still has to take shape. So that was definitely a great panel. The other one that comes to mind is the whole concept of the business models that, it was a panel yesterday, again you were in it as well, and that particular concept, there was a camp that was all talking about how digital has an easier way to monetize this particular business, and upon which the people who are in digital actually said, listen, the cost factor is actually much more, it's dramatically different, it's actually much more expensive, it's on a per user basis, and so it was just interesting to see the lack of knowledge sometimes that people have about each other's businesses, and why sometimes we're still doing this dance around how do we bring digital and the knowledge of digital for the past 16 years into the television world, which is a fantastic space. TV has an emotional half that many other channels don't have, and how do we bring that knowledge, that targeting capability, engagement capability into the world of awareness, brand lift of TV that TV really plays a dominant role in.
Yeah. Convergence is hard.
Very, very hard. But you know what? We're not giving up. This is going to happen. It's not anymore some niche, concept for the future. This is not like Jetson style. We're absolutely in today's world. Connected TV, TV of tomorrow is today, and we have to address it now.
Awesome. Thanks, Doron. Have a good rest of the
show.
Thank
you.
A pretty strong history.